to the BOBCAST. Today, we are going to talk about the recently enacted legislation in Indiana regarding the PTET. And today, to help us understand this legislation, we have Kylie Fraze-Norman with us on the BOBCAST. Welcome, Kylie, who is our first official guest on the BOBCAST. So, Kylie, this is quite an honor for you to be our first guest.
I'm very excited and do feel very honored. Thank you.
As you should. Now, let's talk about this PTET. PTET is the short abbreviation of it. But Kylie, what does that mean?
It means pass-through entity tax.
So that should be easy to understand, but who is it really applying to?
It affects pass-through entities, mainly means partnerships and S corporations.
So what's the advantage of this pass-through entity tax?
So PTET contains provisions that allow Indiana partnerships and S corporations to elect to pay tax at the business level. Since this is an entity level tax, it's deductible by the business on the federal return in the year of payment.
Well, that's going to be a nice little extra deduction. And since this is retroactive to 2022, as usual, we're playing catch up because of our legislators. That means that the first benefit anyone in Indiana will see from this will be on their 2023 tax returns. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How do they make this election to be able to participate in the pass-through entity tax? Because I presume it's not automatic.
This election is made on the annual return.
So when we file the 2022 tax return, if the pass-through entities want to make it, that's when they'll make the election.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, if we make the election in 2022, when do I have to, on the 2023 return, when do I have to pay the tax for the 2022 income?
That is paid when your return is remitted.
So when we actually file the tax return.
Yes.
So that means that could stretch out as far as September 15th if there was a reason the tax return was on extension until then.
Correct.
For a calendar year taxpayer.
Correct.
Okay. Are there any due dates coming up, though, that even though they're making the election for the PTET, they need to be conscious of?
The non-resident composite payments are still due on 4/18 of 2023.
So just like every other year, if you have non-resident partners or shareholders in the company, those tax payments are going to be due on April 18th, even if the business return is on extension. Well, I want to thank all of you for taking a few moments to watch this. We know it's not going to answer all the questions. We know we're still waiting for complete guidance from the Indiana Department of Revenue, and they're in the process of updating their forms in order to allow us to start the filing of the 2022 corp and partnership tax returns. It is projected that that information will not be available until late March. Accordingly, majority of all Indiana partnerships and S corps are going on extension across the state. Well, thank you again for watching this podcast. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your account representative here at CLH, and we'll help provide further clarification.